Makeathon is essentially a place where people of interdisciplinary backgrounds from engineering, art and design, business, pretty much anyone with an idea that they want to create can come and build a prototype. The whole spirit of Makeathon is innovation, and that's what we want to capture and sort of build that through this 36-hour design process and pull it out of people.
One of our friends had the idea a couple of weeks ago to build a motion-controlled wheelchair for people who need that sort of thing where the current wheelchairs just don't cut it for them. Brandon, one of our teammates, is really good at the mechanical stuff. First he designed the chair, then he started working on it, built it, and now it's the glorious thing you see. When he was done with the chassis, I was gathering parts for the electrical hardware and assemble the electrical hardware once the chassis was done, and then I started working on the software that would run on that robot, that itself. Meanwhile, Oliver, my other teammate, was working on the iOS app that would interface with the Thalmic Labs Myo armband that we're using for the motion capture input. And then myself and Oliver collaborated on meshing the robot and the iOS app together so that way there would be fluid communication.
So the main idea is I have this Myo armband hanging out on my arm. I take that and send wireless signals to an iPhone running a custom app like this iPhone right here. You can kind of see some interesting data coming when I move my arm and do interesting things. Then the phone is going to communicate with this brick on the robot, this block that does most of the communication through this Wi-Fi adapter. Then this is going to communicate to these motor controllers, which then control the motors on our chassis. And what Brandon is working on over there is he's working on building a superstructure for the top here, which then we're going to put a chair on top of, and then the person wearing the Myo can sit on top of the chair and move around.
Our project for Makeathon is looking at cats and dogs and how people feed them. And so we're designing a bowl or a mat, and what it does is it measures the weight of the food in the bowl and then syncs with your phone to an app that we're going to create. And the app will allow you to track when your dog's eating, how much they're eating. This app could let someone take complete control over how much their animal eats and keep them healthy. I think part of what makes my team unique is that we're a really multidisciplinary team. We have a business student on my team. We actually have 2 computer science majors. We have a mechanical engineer. I'm an art and design major with a second major in industrial design. And we have another mechanical engineer who's also double majoring in industrial design. I think that having all these people with different technical backgrounds leads to engaging conversations, and people bring ideas to the table that you would normally not think of.
Take an average product, for example. To first of all even create the idea, you need maybe a design student. To make it move, you need a mechanical engineer. To make it do things, you need an electrical engineer. On top of that, to make it respond to controls, you need a computer science student. And finally, to make that prototype a viable product, maybe you need a businessman, a marketing, someone in finance. So essentially, Makeathon is a place where anyone can express their innovation in some capacity and sort of bring a product to life. And I think it's very reflective of the real world and how innovation and product design actually happens outside in the industry.
It was amazing to see all of the resources that the organizers had for working with real materials and electrical hardware, from the vast array of metal shops and wood shops and the Fab Lab and all these cool resources to just the being able to bounce ideas off people who were working inside my lab with me. And Makeathon's honestly just been a blast.